Welcome learners of BA Honours English Part 1, Paper 1. The topic, Flowering of Renaissance, Lecture 3. Some of the scenes of Renaissance in Italy. The fall of Constantinople had blocked the land routes to the spices of the East, and a search for new routes demanded voyages. The new astronomy was utilized for the navigational needs of the voyages. The spices were essential to preserve the cattle killed in winter, and they were killed in winter because no winter cattle feed was yet known. The complicated chain of cause and effect kept ever dilating. Moreover, the new astronomy depended on the works of the humanists. The new geographical, astronomical, philosophical, and religious concepts blend in the most diverse ways throughout the 16th and 17th centuries. The new idea of the national state was beneficial in doing away with the medieval view of Christendom. With the assumption of Henry VIII in 1509, the court became the center of fashion and culture, and a patronage of arts was taken over. In the later part of Henry VIII's reign, two poets of the court undertook the task of the renewal of the poetry, especially under the influence of Italian Renaissance. These were Sir Thomas Wyatt and Henry, Earl of Surrey. They found in Italy both the model as well as the stimulus. Like Chaucer, Wyatt had been sent on diplomatic missions abroad and there come under the influence of the 14th century Italian poet Francesco Petrarch, the great master of the sonnets of idealized love. The sonnet, one of the most popular verse forms not only of Elizabethan literature in England but of Renaissance European literature as a whole, developed first in Italy in the 12th century before passing into France and then into England. The sonnet was not simply a stanza of 14 lines with a certain rhyme scheme. The lines were perfectly balanced, the links and pauses between them creating a movement which, in most Italian sonnets, was in four parts, two of four lines each, that is, quatrains, and two of three lines each, the tercets. The sonnet form met the requirement for English poets in the 16th century and in the hands of Wyatt a step toward to metrical discipline. The metrical traditions established by Chaucer had lost its usefulness by virtue of the changes which had come about in the language. Thus Wyatt experimented freely. It was not only the sonnet form that the poets got from Petrarch, but the whole nature of relation between the poet and his beloved became a convention in terms of an idealized courtly love attitude which he manifested towards Laura in his love sonnets. Sorry. Wyatt's most consistently good poems are his song lyrics, and even where his sonnets are unsuccessful, they do represent the first English attempt of the age at this verse form. Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, the only one of the courtly makers whose name appeared in Tottel's title page, was 14 years younger than Wyatt, whose poetic disciple he was. Surrey's 36 poems are in Tottel's miscellany and four more added in the later book. The difference between the two, Wyatt is a greater poet handling a less perfect instrument, while Surrey is the competent and graceful craftsman. His sonnets run with greater metrical smoothness than Wyatt. Surrey was an accomplished versifier and wrote poetry of grace and eloquence. And to write this in the first half of the 16th century was historically important achievement and one which had great influence on the subsequent course of English poetry. Rest is another session. It is to be continued. Thank you.